now it's time to welcome our next guest, who first shot to fame with her unforgettable role in Shameless.
But it was a standout performance in Bad Sisters that earned her a well-deserved BAFTA for Best Supporting Actress.
And as she gets ready to take on a groundbreaking new drama, the award-winning Anne-Marie Duff joins us now. We cannot have you here, firstly, without talking about Bad Sisters, and Dermot would not let it go. I mean, you are such a big fan. And
yeah.
you were coming in. He's coming in talking about it all
I've
the time.
fanboyed her a few times now, so now it's just going to be awkward if I do it on TV.
Well done on the BAFTA.
Oh, thank you.
And do you all still meet up?
Oh, yes. Oh, I mean, the girls are so busy because
Yeah.
they're so brilliant and successful. But yeah, everyone's
That must
in
be the
touch.
strangest thing when you take part in something like that and you get so tight so quickly and you have to. I know, is it Derber the
Dervla, yeah, the
Dervla,
director.
yeah,
She
director.
kind of made us all bond at the beginning.
I love that. You took pictures of each other. So by the time, it was almost like a boot camp, right? So by the time you started filming.
Friendship boot camp.
Yeah. But when you're with those people and you get so tight so quickly, and then you sort of, as soon as you cut, everyone's off to something else. And so you have
I
that...
know, it's a funny
you just sort of
old
like,
game. I
you know,
know.
split up and you only see each other at
I think you
awards and
develop
stuff.
them. When you first start acting, you think, oh, I'm going to see these people every day forever.
Yeah.
And then you realise that, you know, there's next chapters and it can feel a bit sad, but then you kind of develop a muscle around it and get used to it. And you know that there's a kind of inevitability about people coming back together, working on different projects, and so you see each other again.
It's just a bond there, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
And especially with that show, because it was just all about... What I loved about it was set in Ireland, but it wasn't Cod Ireland, you know? It was set in a very...
made by the Irish tourist
Exactly.
board, yeah.
It was sort of like, it was properly... It felt like modern Ireland, you know?
That's Sharon, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just... And it was about sisterhood and family and all those things.
And the mess of it and the joy of it. Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel that... Did you feel that it was going to be... You know, sometimes you just get a whiff of something and you go, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
From the start.
When I read the very first... Because at the very beginning, we just got a couple of scripts and then little plots, synopses for the rest of the series. And I just thought, this is it. This is brilliant. This is just brilliant. And her irreverence and her writing, and it's always... It was slaloms between being really funny and really sad. And she does it so... She's so skillful.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a real... Clearly, I thought, clearly this is going to be brilliant.
Well, I think, do you know what? I'm such a fan of you. I think every role that you take on is incredible. And when I first saw you on Shameless, I thought, brilliant, a family just like mine. It was, it was so brilliantly done. Do you keep in touch with the cast there?
Well, I did see David Threlfall really recently, actually.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. But, and we're all so proud of the young ones who've all grown up to become brilliant actors.
They have gone on to do incredible things.
I know. So, yeah, that was another, just a moment that we caught, you know, and also to make a show about poverty that hadn't really been done before in a again, a bit like Sharon's writing, in a comedy drama way, not just misery, but showing that people who have nothing really love the bones of each other and really, you know, are there for each other, and it's a mess too, but it's not just people being cruel to each other because they are having a tough life.
Well, we want to talk about your new venture.
Absolutely. It's a brand new thriller. You're making headlines for a gripping storyline, but also for featuring predominantly deaf cast. Let's take a look.
When he first came out of prison, I thought, maybe I'll get my dad back. Maybe he's still a good person. Even after everything that happened.
He was your friend, but you killed him. Why?
But now, he's just some angry deaf man going around getting into fights.
You need to get Daniel Brennan back in prison. He's a murderer walking the streets. Recall him before it's too late.
More lies, more broken promises. So much for second chances, eh?
And then we're joined by Brian as well. And Brian, you've got your...
I'm just going to stop you. Everybody calls Brian Duffy.
Oh, really?
Because you got a name like Duff, you got to use it.
Duffy, so we're going to call you Duffy now then, Brian, that's it. And Duffy, we're also joined by your interpreter, Tasha. You all right, Tash?
Hello.
Hello, all right? Tash will be interpreting for you today. And not only did you have to learn the lines on this, you've picked up sign language in 6 weeks. I mean, how have you done it?
Because I had this great teacher. That's how.
And you're a very strict teacher, I've heard, as well.
Well, yeah, kind of. You know, I can be tough. But to be fair, you know, you took on a massive role, a massive responsibility, and learned sign language, you know, in a very short space of time. And the fact that you did that, you know, if someone could try and learn Spanish, Chinese or Japanese, they would struggle. But the fact that you did that. But yeah, my methods are pretty brutal. But yeah, Anne-Marie did brilliantly.
So, Duffy, how did you get involved with the show?
Well, William Major, he's the writer. He saw some work that I did with I Hate Susie, with Billy Piper and Daniel Ings. And he was really impressed with that. It was a relief. Anyway, we had a bit of a chat. We both have a real passion about seeing British Sign Language on screen. And so, yeah, that's how we got into it.
Nice. And Anne-Marie, can you just talk us through your role?
Yes, so the main protagonist of the show, played by Matthew Gurney, brilliant Matthew Gurney, is a man who's leaving prison and he's served his time for murder. He's deaf. And it starts to explain just immediately what the deaf experience is. But that's not what the show is all about. The show is an incredible thriller. He served his time for murder. He murdered my husband. And they were very, very, very close friends. So it's a profoundly difficult time for me. I'm just about to move on in my life, and then my husband's murderer comes back into my panorama.
It's a great first episode.
It's a brilliant
I watched the first
episode,
one last night,
yeah.
and I was totally hooked. And one of the important things is it's an incredibly inclusive drama, both behind and in front of the screen, Duffy. I mean, the thing that stuck out for me was the party, which I was cooking last night, and then I was like stopped and went, well, hang on a minute, it's just like there's music playing, but it's sign language. It was just mesmeric.
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't really a question, more of a statement.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it a question? No, it's not a question, right, OK.
Yeah, welcome to my news.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Doesn't really go anywhere.
And what gets me is, you know, less than 1% of the deaf community work behind the camera or in front of the camera. So this has really opened up the world to being more inclusive. And what do you hope that this does for future programmes?
Well, it's always about people feeling seen.
Yeah.
And that's what culture's job is.
Yeah.
To represent every colour of the rainbow. And Rose Ayling-Ellis, who plays my daughter in the show, brilliant, brilliant Rose, she talked very beautifully about what it feels like to be marginalised. She's so eloquent about it, as we know. But she also talked about walking onto a set where she suddenly wasn't the only one. And because, you know, an unprecedented amount of the crew were deaf, which was just brilliant. Warp Films, who are also responsible for Adolescence, incredible production company, made this with the BBC, and they committed to the whole notion of representation, didn't they? And, you know, and we felt every day how beautiful it was, you know?
Duffy, how important was that for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, I grew up watching cinema. I'm a big love of cinema. And, but where are my people? Where am I represented on screen? And, you know, I think deaf people represented in kind of, you know, a vulnerable place. So I think the fact that, you know, William and Warp came together and, you know, have shown this on screen, you know, they show the vulnerability and the strengths of what a deaf person can bring to screen. And I think that's really, really important for representation.
Because it's kind of crazy. You put the TV on, you don't even see anyone signing in an advert.
Do you know what? Thank you for doing this for the deaf community. Thank you so much.
I feel lucky to have been part of it, you know, because that's my privilege, you know, so I'm...
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you, Duffy.
Thank you.
Tash as well. Good to have you all with us. Reunion
Thank
starts
you.
Monday, 9 o'clock on BBC.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.